Hi, I'm Pete, and welcome to Just a Few Acres Farm at the Ithaca Farmers Market in Ithaca, New York. It's a busy day. The students are back in town at Cornell and Ithaca College, and all of the vacationers are here. The last few weeks have been very crowded. And from my booth, I don't see the half of it because I come in at 8 o'clock or so and it's just a smooth drive in. But if you're parking out there at this hour, it's 10:30 now, people spend up to a half an hour looking for a space. It's really crowded. All right. Anything else?
I think she said she wanted 6 of the pork chops.
Yep. Pork chops. So they come in packs of 2 pieces.
Okay.
You want 6 pieces?
Sure.
It's about 3 pounds of chops. Bacon?
And you wanted eggs?
Let's see. That's 2 3/4. And then I have, these are all these. Take a look at this spread. I love it when people stock up. It's been very busy this morning. I'll show you what we've got on the board. So we're fully stocked with chicken and fresh chicken every week now. Pork, we're starting to run low on some things, sausage and pork chops in the freezers. And then we're continually resupplied with beef once a month. So steaks and cuts, we have those pretty much through the summer. And I'm loading up pretty much all that'll fit in the truck this time of year. 2 big coolers full of eggs, cooler full of frozen chicken, cooler full of fresh whole chickens, cooler full of fresh chicken parts, another cooler full of eggs, and then a freezer full of beef and a freezer full of pork.
We're from Michigan, so
Oh, nice.
we coming out here for a wedding, so in Rochester. I decided to drive out just because I've been watching for like the last year and a half. So.
Thank you. They're all different. That's a loin chop and that's a sirloin chop.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. This day is flying by. It's been so busy I haven't had any time to film much, but I'll try and get you guys out in the afternoon and show you what else is available at market. I get a lot of viewers from Pennsylvania. Oh yeah, probably a dozen every Saturday. Yeah.
She's real interested in Dexter's.
And she made everything in ground beef. And she sold it as ground steak. Yeah. She had like 300 acres. It's lunchtime. Standard tuna sandwich with Dijon mustard. It's 1:30 in the afternoon and this is the first break I've got. It's been nonstop business since 8:30 this morning, but I got to go out and get my shopping done. One of the reasons I haven't been making videos at the farmers market this year is because I've just been too busy. I don't get a break to make a video, and I have to service the customers that are at the booth. And I'm late to my favorite bread place. No more ciabatta, huh? They were all out of my beloved ciabatta, so I got Gary's bread. I don't know, we'll see how it is. You know, I'm a creature of habit, but I'll try it. This place is crowded today. It's not as crowded as I've seen it. I've seen it where you can barely move in this aisle. There's so many people, but it's pretty crowded. Now we gotta go see the corn man, who is right across the way from me, luckily. What do we want here? That's good. That's good. That's good. 3. The people just keep coming and coming. That's the way it is this time of year. And this is a situation where I usually slow down a lot because I have almost nothing left. I've got some chicken I'm saving for somebody, and that's it for fresh chicken. This is all gone. Eggs are gone. This is my own shopping in here. That's empty. This cooler's empty except for ice. That cooler's empty. This cooler's got 4 dozen eggs left to sell in it. This freezer's just got scraps of beef in it. I've really been cleaned out of beef. And this has just got a little bit of pork in it, a few pork chops, some all out of sausage. I got a couple pounds of ground pork and some bacon. I did a little math in my head while I was sitting here and added up all the coolers and freezers and what I think they can hold. And I think at this time of year I'm bringing between 1.25 and 1/2 ton of meat and eggs combined to market and selling them every Saturday. It's not small potatoes. And that brings me to one of the things I definitely wanted to cover in this video. And that is just how special and important a place like this is to businesses like mine. I hear from people all the time, wow, isn't this special? I don't have anything like this where I live. Or even worse in my mind, I have a market that is supposedly a farmer market, but it's just filled with resellers selling the same thing you get in a grocery store. And that is the worst shame that I can think of to hurt the farmers market's reputation. This is ground zero of local food movement. This is the missing piece that a lot of people who start small farms are missing. They're missing that end of their business plan. You know, you grow it, you make it, then you got to sell it. And if you don't have anything like this around where you live, you're going to have an awful hard time. And it requires not only the facility and the infrastructure and a market system that checks to make sure that everybody selling here is making or growing what they're selling, but it also requires clientele that is informed enough to know the importance of local food and that they're willing to pay a premium for it. So a lot of things need to come together, and I'm sad that I don't see something like this in more parts of the country because it keeps small farms like ours living. And it's so much more than just a place to sell your stuff. That's a real superficial way of thinking about it. The farmers market is a small business incubator, and it's kind of a one-stop shop for your marketing side of your business. So in other words, yes, you can come here and sell your product if you're going to think of your business as simply as that, but it's a continuous marketing tool as well. And by marketing I mean acquiring and keeping new customers. You always got to have that component in your business. You've got to have a marketing plan that has a continuous method. So say I were to go and just sell online. If I were just selling online, I would also have to have a marketing mechanism to continually attract new customers in because you always have ones dropping out. The farmers market, for me, is a one-stop shop. I come one day a week. I get the customers that are existing to us to come. We're always picking up new customers as people are dropping off. And its elegance is amazing once you start to dig down into what farmers markets actually do for small farms and other small businesses. Full chickens run from 3 pounds up to, I don't know. This is 3 pounds. What's in season at market these days? Well, pretty much everything at this time of year. Tomatoes, onions, basil, perpetual spinach, Swiss chard, broccoli, potatoes, peppers, red potatoes, cabbage, delicata squash, more peppers, radish, beets, big radishes, more tomatoes, beefsteaks, heirloom toms, more peppers, potatoes, cherry tomatoes, different colors, garlic, maple syrup, tomatoes, Eggplant, peppers, different peppers, different peppers, different peppers. Cute, nope, summer squash, peppers, potatoes, 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 shallots, onions, onions, green onions. Some green thing that kind of looks like kale, curly kale, Russian kale, something like that. Red kale. Other kinds, collard greens. Swiss chard. Lettuce, lettuce, lettuce. Flowers. Cucumbers. Herby thingies. Tomatoes. Yeah, I'm that weird guy filming. Radishes. Purpley radishes. Kohlrabi. Kohlrabi. Beets. Carrots. Lettuce.
Celery.
Celery. I should have known that. Eggplant. Peppers. Peppers. Tomatoes. Apple cider. Vinegar. Look at these varieties. Patty pans.
Correct.
I don't know what those are. What are those? Some kind of squash.
It is a Pantheon zucchini. It's an improved version of the Italian heirloom costata romanesco. Very nutty and a little bit more dense, so it holds up the heat better.
So many varieties of squash. Tomatoes, 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 tomatoes. This is Tomato Central. At this time of year, and I talked to one of the vendors who grows a lot of tomato, grows 80 varieties of tomato himself. There's over 150 varieties just of tomatoes here at the market. Wrinkly peppers. Peppers. Little onions. Long cucumbers, I think. Summer squash. Cabbage. Swiss chard. Curly kale. Right? Curly kale?
That is, yep. Carnivore, yep.
Kale. Carrots. Tomatoes. Salad greens. How are you doing, Ruben?
Good. Need anything?
Tomatoes, tomatoes, little tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, garlic, cantaloupes, acorn squash. It's the first I've seen here. Beets, peppers, peppers, cucumbers, onions, peppers, potatoes, carrots. It's 2:30 and it's still pretty crowded here, but I really don't have much of anything left to sell. I got a couple dozen eggs, some bacon, a little bit of ground pork, and I don't know, a few beef scraps. Of course, one of the consequences to what I said earlier, making sure that everything that's sold here is locally grown or raised or made, is that you have committees upon committees that evaluates vendors coming in, checks to make sure that everything being provided is grown by them and grown locally. A whole lot of rules. A rule book. Some people bristle at that. It's kind of the opposite of the nature of a flea market, which is kind of the Wild West. Bring whatever you want and sell it. Here, everything gets reviewed, everything gets checked. Like any set of or sort of bureaucracy, there's benefits and there's downsides to that. We all just live with it. Because there's nobody down here watching things during the week, and so somebody can take my time. I don't know, people do that kind of thing, you know? It's too bad. And that's it. Market's over for another day. I'm sorry I couldn't film more. It's just this time of year it's so darn busy. I don't have the time. And things seem to be back to pre-COVID levels at the market. It just gets busier and busier every weekend. And I have 20 or 30 viewers that come to visit me every market, so between all that, it doesn't leave me much time to film. I hope I got enough to convey what this market is like. It is an awesome place. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Oh, we got to fix this. There we go. I am taking my coolers and freezers and heading home.